Okay, welcome in to the TEAL Shirt Report podcast. I'm Scott, your host, and this has been probably the craziest 3 days in Jacksonville Jaguars history. I mean, can I compare it to when the Jaguars got the team back in 1993? The town went wild. The town went crazy. The town was so full of pride. If you were from here, if you were maybe living like I was in another area of the country, you were proud of Jacksonville and what they had accomplished by getting the team in 1993. Wayne Weaver, I don't think Jacksonville gets a team without touchdown Jacksonville or Wayne Weaver, if you remember those names. What has what has absolutely transpired in the last 3 days has been just mind numbing. Um, we're going to go back a few days before that. The season came to an end. The Jags lost in overtime to the Colts. I believe it was 26-23 in Indy. The next day, in what they call Black Monday, Doug Peterson took the ball. And eventually, Doug Peterson was going to get fired, whether it was Black Monday or by a new GM, but the new GM never got hired. Balky was kept on. And then we get these sources that say, hey, Ben Johnson, the Detroit offensive coordinator, they're 15-2. He wants to come to Jacksonville, and he'll probably bring Mark Brunell, the former Jags quarterback, with him to be the quarterback coach. So everybody got excited about Ben Johnson. So Ben Johnson comes in for the interview. There were many interviews done. Robert Saleh, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, etc. Liam Coen, who eventually got the head coaching job. And I mean, this was a crazy thing that went on. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. So, I've been telling people on this podcast that Shad Khan should have fired general manager Trent Baalke a month or two ago. We've been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it till we're teal in the face, right? Or blue in the face. So the top two candidates, Ben Johnson, who was without a doubt the number one candidate, and Liam Coen, we didn't know what to think about him, but it turned out he was probably the number two candidate. So Ben Johnson interviews with the Jags, and then he decides not to come back for the second interview, takes the Chicago Bears job. And there were sources that we learned from and that I had heard from personally that said, hey, Ben Johnson wants to come to Jacksonville, and Mark Brunell is going to come with him. I'm talking about serious sources. Mm. Man, great coffee boy. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. JC had a good show on Thursday night, too, live from the pub with JC on Lake Eufaula Hits. Great. He played some of my requests, too. He did. The Police, the group The Police, had what really was a jam session called Peanuts that they dedicated to then President Jimmy Carter, who sadly passed away at the age of 100 just a few days back. And that's that song. And Little River Band, it's a long way there. Little River Band's coming to Northeast Florida soon also. We'll talk about North Florida entertainment coming up. But back to all of this with Ben Johnson. And we're brought to you by Salsa Realty and Capital for your real estate needs in North Florida and surrounding areas, whether it's home, residential, business, or commercial real estate. So Ben Johnson interviews, but in similar sources that said, not some different sources, but similar sources say Ben Johnson and Mark Brunell wanted to come here before the interview. And of course, Mark Brunell, from all accounts, likes Ben Johnson a good bit. From what I had heard, I guess especially when Mark first went to Detroit as a quarterback coach. No telling what Dan Campbell would do now. He told Ben Johnson, the current Detroit Lions coach, told Ben Johnson to leave a few plays for him behind. So Dan Campbell's an interesting cat, or a lion, if you will. So I like him, actually. He's definitely unorthodox. So Ben Johnson does the interview. And Ben Johnson has done the interview, and I think the plan was for him to come back and do a second interview. And Ben did not like the setup with Balky. It was balky. He didn't like the setup with Balky and the way that the Jags had it set up. And he took the Chicago Bears job because they gave him everything he wanted. The money, he liked the setup better. And he's in Chicago working with Caleb, who will be a second-year quarterback in Chicago. Got a world of potential. I think Trevor might end up still being a better quarterback than Caleb. Call me crazy. But Liam Coen does an interview too, the first interview, and apparently he doesn't like the setup either. And then, man, Khan, I think they wanted Liam Cohen to, when Ben Johnson took the Chicago Bears job, they're thinking, well, we're going to get Liam Cohen. And then Liam Cohen announces he's going back to the Tampa Bay Bucks, going to be the offensive coordinator, probably going to get a real nice raise and a new deal. And it's like the craziest thing we've ever seen. Okay. When Balky got, and then what happened, I mean, Khan must have just exploded, or his blood was boiling, thinking, man, I got to get rid of Balky. Nothing against him. Well, maybe there's a few things against him, but got to get rid of Balky no matter what went on in the yacht. And Balky he's been fired as general manager. He might be pouring drinks on the yacht. He might still be on the yacht in some capacity as a bus boy or whatever. Or Balky may retire. But I've got all these interesting tidbits here. The full statement, and this was something that Ian Rappaport, who's an NFL reporter, Ian Rappaport at the Rap Sheet. I don't even know who he works for. Maybe he works for himself like we do. Full statement from Jaguars owner Shad Khan following several discussions with Trent Baalke this week. We both arrived at the conclusion. This is from Shad Khan now. Full statement from Jags owner Shad Khan following several discussions with Trent Baalke this week. We both arrived at the conclusion that it is in the best interest. In fact, it is in our mutual best interest to respectfully separate, effective immediately. Trent leaves us with my deepest appreciation for his efforts over the past 5 seasons. Ethan Waugh will serve as the interim general manager and play an important role with others as we continue the process of interviewing candidates to serve as our new head coach. Shad Khan went on to say, I'm deeply committed to building a winner here in Jacksonville. Look forward to introducing a new head coach who will make that happen for our players and fans alike. Now, we have heard this scenario before, right? So, man. So some things happen. Liam Coen turns the Jags down, goes back to the Bucks, and he's gonna stay the Bucks offensive coordinator and gonna get a nice raise. And then the Bucks can't find him. He ghosted them. What's that new term? He ghosted them for like several hours. And there were it was said some things. He was away from the Bucks for several hours and ended up meeting with the Jaguars. Jags contacted him back. Now that Balky's fired, it's amazing. Let's see. Got another little note and message. This should be from Shad Khan again, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. To repeat my message earlier in the week, I guess after he fired Trent Baalke, Shad Khan, to repeat my message earlier this week, I am deeply committed to building a winner here in Jacksonville. I also believe in being judged by actions, not words. Well, you can also, if you're a Jags fan, you look at the record the last year and a half. Again, Shad Khan goes on to say to repeat my message earlier this week, I am deeply committed to building a winner here in Jacksonville, Florida. I also believe in being judged by actions, not words. That's why I took swift and decisive action this week to hire Liam Coen as the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Shad went on to say, I am pumped that Liam is accepting the challenge and the opportunity to build a winner. That's right. Shad Khan went on to say that he's pumped. I've never heard Shad use that kind of word before. Shad Khan is pumped. I am pumped that Liam is accepting the challenge and the opportunity to build the winner that the Jaguars fans and partners fully deserve. I know our players will feel the same. Okay. So, man, crazy 3 days, and it was not official until, I'm going to say it was official sometime January 24th. You know, I wake up on this Saturday morning, January the 25th, and I'm seeing it's all official. Liam Coen is the head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars on this cold Saturday morning, January the 25th. 28 degrees, a cold, blustery 28 degrees in Jacksonville, Florida. New head coach Liam Coen. I'm looking at some video of him coaching Baker Mayfield at Tampa Bay. He was the offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, of course. And there was some stuff that we found on Twitter. There was a lady that posted some stuff on Twitter. I don't know much about her, but she did post something. And you gotta take all this stuff kind of with a grain of salt. You know, I'm looking at, we're for something. Liam Coen is now officially the Jacksonville Jaguars head football coach. Any thoughts? And hey, we got coffee brewing at world headquarters now. Thank you, Coffee Boy. Let's see here. Wow. Now, there was a post by CBS Sports late at night saying Liam Coen was considering bringing Chip Kelly in to his staff with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know how true that is. That's from Black and Teal. Let's see here. There was the lady. I want to. What happened is, why did Liam Coen come back to Jacksonville after turning him down? Well, Baalke is gone. That's one of the big. Baalke was one of the big stumbling blocks. Liam Coen was not comfortable with the setup, similar to the way Ben Johnson thought. I forgot Ben's name already, but he's the coach of the Chicago Bears. I mean, again, news. Liam Coen is a new head coach of the Jaguars, and he is. And man, it's been cold in Jacksonville this weekend. So again, I did find. I need to find it again though. But okay, here's what I was looking for. This one is actually from Tom Pelissero, a dramatic turn, Liam Coen. This is part of the process of Liam Coen, of course, turning down the job, and then the Jags reached out to him, and then there was the interest in Liam Coen possibly taking the job, which he eventually did. Tom Pelissero on Twitter, or actually, more correctly now, the X. A dramatic turn. Liam Coen informed the Jaguars on Wednesday he was staying in Tampa as an offensive coordinator on a new contract. But after the firing of general manager Trent Baalke, the Jags reached out to see if Coen would reconsider. Now Coen is in Jacksonville and appears to be headed toward a deal, which he was and is now officially. Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. The breakdown of the numbers, but I'm it was Ben Johnson type money. I think it's $12 million a year. Ben might be getting 15, but going to get 12 or close to it. Or I don't know the full ramifications, of the deal. By the way, we're brought to you by LakeviewFallahits.com. Make sure you tune in for JC live from the pub. Central Time, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on Thursday nights. And JC, I'm kind of scrolling the Facebook, the Big J Report Facebook group, and I'm actually doing a little edit as we talk on the podcast, by the way. Internet Radio with JC live from the pub, taking your request each Thursday night. Great show. JC played the Little River Band for me. It's a long way there. Little River Band coming to our area in East Florida too in just weeks. Internet Radio with JC live from the pub, taking your request Thursday night. And we still have that ad running in the Facebook group, JC. That's right. LakeviewFallahits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good. And you know it is. So I'm still looking. Here we go. Here's something from, before Liam Coen was signed, Michael DeRocco had something from ESPN. If the Jaguars do want an offensive head coach, Todd Monken, Joe Brady, Kellen Moore are offensive coordinators that have had first interviews. Logical to bring in one of those three for a second interview. However, it was not necessary because the Jaguars reached out to Liam Coen. And basically the negotiations for the head coach was a second interview for Liam Coen, right? Okay. Pro Football Hall of Famer and Jaguars legend Tony Boselli kind of became part of the Jags coaching search process. Sources told NFL and CBS Boselli was added to aid in the process with GM Trent Baalke no longer with the team. After Trent Baalke was fired just recently in the last few days, a lot of stuff, crazy things happening. Unbelievable. And I was still looking for the tweet. Great coffee. Don't forget about the MadMaxMix.weebly.com. Max is Wednesday night, the request show. Max plays music, pop classics, classic rock. The MadMaxMix.weebly.com. Mad Max's show from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock Eastern Time at the MadMaxMix.com. So it's good to have you with us on the TEAL Shirt Report podcast. Man, what can we say? Liam Coen is now the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. Man, this is a guy that was with the Rams as I believe their OC, then Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers as their OC. I've always raved about Les Snead, so he does have experience with Les Snead, who was GM or still GM with the Rams that we liked a lot. Thought and had hoped Shad Khan might reach out to him and maybe a window of opportunity, but we don't know Les Snead's contractual arrangements with the LA Rams. And, it looks like Snead most likely will stay in Los Angeles. But as far as the GM goes, Liam Coen, I think he's going to be a big part. Basically, what's been said officially, I think, by the Jaguars from sources is that Shad Khan and Liam Coen will work on who the general manager will be in Jacksonville for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I want to thank our sponsors. Episode show number 82. We're going to call this episode show number 82A, saluting great wide receiver Jimmy Smith. He's got many of the Jacksonville Jaguars receiving records. I think he's going to be possibly a future Pro Football Hall of Famer. I mean, Fred Taylor's got to get in, and then down the road, you got to get Jimmy Smith in, and Tom Coughlin's got to get in too. Tony Baselli was the first Jacksonville Jaguars player to get in the Hall of Fame. Man, I'm looking at the thermometer. It's 26 degrees now. The temperatures just dropped again to 26 degrees. At 21 in the morning on Saturday morning, January the 25th of 2025. Episode show. Absolutely. Number 82A. We're saluting Jimmy Smith. The crazy 3 days. Obviously here in Jacksonville, Florida. And Liam Coen ghosted the Tampa Bay Bucks. And there were some things going on. The Jags had reached out to Liam Coen, and now he's been signed as the head coach. Liam Coen could have had a big raise with Tampa Bay to stay their offensive coordinator, but now he's getting the whole ball of wax. The whole ball of wax, the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And take it from me, Liam Coen is going to be the deciding factor on who the GM is. Liam Coen working with Shad Khan on who the next GM will be for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, part of the Balky regime. There is an interim GM, Ethan Waugh. Is that the guy's name? He's the interim GM for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So he's helping out. And somebody's got to keep up with the salary cap too, right? So, again, Ethan Waugh is the interim general manager. Jacksonville Jaguars general manager search. Ethan Waugh takes over as the interim. That's right. Jacksonville Jaguars head coaching search. Ethan Waugh did take over as the interim GM after Brother Trent Baalke was fired. Well, Liam Coen is the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We want to make that introduction here on the podcast, on the TEAL Shirtboard podcast. We got more stuff coming up. We're brought to you Saucer Realty and Capital, the MadMaxMix.weebly.com. This is Wednesday night request show, and also by Lake Eufaula Hits and JC's Thursday night live from the pub show at Lake Eufaula Hits. LakeEufaulaHits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good. So we're going to wrap things up. I want to thank our executive producer, JC, also Alex Nunnery, another producer, and John Gaylor. We're going to have more info coming up. Keep it right here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to find the other tweet from the lady that, she basically paraphrasing was that basically Shad Khan offered everything except for the yacht, probably. I'm sure Liam Coen will be on the yacht. All of them have been on there, all the dignitaries. Liam Coen, the new head coach, he'll get to go on the yacht as the yacht turns. Man, it's been turning sharply the past 3 days. No doubt about that. So Liam Coen is the new Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. And the tweet I was looking for, basically, to paraphrase it, it had to do with the fact that now Liam Coen is being offered almost Ben Johnson money, like Ben Johnson got with the Chicago Bears. Liam Cohen's being offered him a huge contract, multi-year, huge contract, and now he's got power to sign off on who the general manager is. And I'm sure if Shad Khan recommends somebody, Liam Cohen's got to say, yeah, that's good. Or Liam Cohen says, hey, I want this guy to be my GM. And then Shad Khan has to say something to the effect of, okay, let's give it a day or two to check everything. And then he'll be the GM. The power Liam Cohen has in the building is going to be immense. Liam Cohen at 39 years old, the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Scott, your host for the Teal Shirt Report podcast. I'm out. Ohio State Buckeyes win the college football national championship over Notre Dame. Check out bigjreport.com. Check our Neighbors 2 section for the concerts in the area. And in our sports section, get updates on the Jacksonville Icemen, too. They play their home games at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. That's going to do it for the Teal Shirt Report podcast on this Saturday morning, January the 25th of 2025. We'll back again real soon. So to get all the content, not only give us a thumbs up, but subscribe to the channel, the Teal Shirt Report podcast from bigjreport.com. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching episode show number 82A on the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Thank you for watching and listening.